Good evening, everyone. Today is August 10th. This is a special meeting of the Board of Education. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and as always, I'd please ask everybody to stand and have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So as this being a special meeting, we don't have any comments from board members this evening or from our superintendent, but I did want to give our public an opportunity to come up and ask questions on the agenda items. So if you'd like to, please come up, tell us your name and your address.
Hello, my name is Harry Tucker. I live at Grissom Drive. I've lived here since 2006. I'm sure you've seen me around. First of all, congratulations to the new guys and good luck. You have a thankless job. I'm sure you'll do well.
Thank you.
If you don't do well, I'm sure you'll hear about it. So the first thing I wanted to ask you, I do have some things to say at the end that aren't on the agenda, but I noticed that we have business of the board. You're approving something I already passed. Number one, approve a contract from July 2015 to June 2016. Is there a reason that we're doing that now? I mean, it already happened, right?
Yes, I'm happy to take this question. There was an oversight in our special ed office where a service provider who provides services only in the home, who has been with the district for 6 years, commenced service. The district did give a few reminders. The service provider did not provide a contract, commenced service, and then billed us at the end of the year. This is someone who's held in very, very high regard by the families that she supports. She's very well qualified, but she was not diligent about her paperwork. We'd like to continue the relationship with her. It is against our board policy. It's the first time that it's happened in my recollection, but I did ask the board to make an exception under these circumstances. It is legal to do this, but it is not good practice, and our business office is getting together with our special ed department to put safeguards in place so this never happens again.
And is it the same amount? Like it always says what we paid the year before. So 14-15 we paid $6,600, and I guess the last year that just passed is probably the same, right? And then this year going forward.
It's usually pretty consistent, yeah. but it's always subject to change. A new family could move into district that needs the service. So you'll see consistency, but you do see some fluctuation with the service providers' fees.
Okay. And next question I wanted to ask you is, we're appointing an assistant principal today?
Yes.
I was hoping he would be here, but I guess we'll meet him one day. What was the process like getting somebody? I know we had a hard time getting a middle school principal. But we got an assistant principal, which is good. Hopefully he'll be here for a long time. So how many resumes did we get, and what was the process?
We had roughly 200 resumes. We posted in June. Our former high school, middle school assistant principal became a principal. He received a promotion in a different district. We were very happy for him. But when he resigned, which was in June, we posted, and June is late. However, we had a great response. We had over 200 applicants. We weren't able to have the full process that we would have had, let's say, had we known back in March. We would have had more participation from parents and staff. This was a modified process that really played out through the month of July, and the administrators, the internal administrators, particularly Dr. Linehan, took the lead. He will be the direct supervisor working with the AP. Went through all those resumes. About 12 or 13 candidates were brought in for interviews with our administrative team. Then 4 finalists were sent to me for an additional stage of interviews and some more vetting. We were careful with our reference checks. We went overboard because we did not have that committee phase of the process. We're moving quickly on it because in New York State, you must give 30 days notice before you can resign from another district. So this gentleman is a tenured assistant principal in New York City Public Schools. And we could have waited till August 29th, which is our next board meeting, but then we would run the risk of not having him in place for the opening of school, which
I'm not surprised you have 200 people who wouldn't want to work at Tuckahoe, right? And I'll be back later after First
Do-
of all.
If you want, why don't you just, you can,
All right, listen, we all want to go home, right?
no, but why don't you can ask your question now,
We
it's
want to
fine.
go home and watch the Olympics. See Michael Phelps win again.
Good.
All right, so quick question is, pre-K. We all know Cottle's packed, and I know, I watched all the meetings. What happened to the lease? Was the lease up, or did they have a new regime over at ICS? Did they say, listen, your rent's going up? Because that's what they're doing a lot of. So what happened? I mean,
We were notified in May. We were on a year-to-year terms with Immaculate Conception. I believe we were there, I want to say it's 8 or 9 years. So we had a long-standing relationship. They were very good to us over the years, and they included us in everything. So it was a great situation, but my understanding is that they have plans for the facility and the space there. They're making some changes, and I went, as soon as I received the notice, I immediately went to schedule a meeting, and they charge us well under market rate rent for years and years. So that was the first thing I thought, is maybe we needed to renegotiate. It was not a question of money. They needed the space, and they have different plans for it.
I think they're going to make a parish center.
Yes, yes. So Father Sorgi was very gracious, and he gave me an explanation, which he did not have to. And it was not a question of money. We still have a very good relationship. We're going to do some collaboration with their teachers and our teachers. But we had no choice after that. Just to elaborate, we went out and looked at least 11 different locations. We simply could not find another place to lease that was sufficient. You need 30 square feet per child under New York State Ed law, and we just simply could not find a space that was sufficient and could accommodate our students and was within the regulations. So we made the decision. We had to make a choice by June, and that decision was to bring them back to Cottle, even though we are very crowded.
And Mr. Tucker calls being a little bit modest here. When he informed us in May that this was happening, we were under the gun. I mean, we have some pre-K kids coming in and not a lot of time. He was out almost every day, going to different locations, trying to see if there was ways to work around it, to try to find an alternate solution. The Cottle solution was probably the one that was the last resort, and we were prepared to do it. And he talked to the building people there because of the space constraints at Cottle, but it wasn't from a lack of effort on his part. When he says we, it was him going from place to place, knocking on doors.
I think Carl should have been superintendent 2 superintendents ago. But anyway, you don't have to be so detailed. If you want to be quick, you always email me more detailed answers if you want, because I have a few more.
Sure.
So when are we going to make a decision on what we're going to do long-term at Cottle? I know there's facilities, people are looking at it, but we obviously need to grow it. I mean, you go down Winter Hill Road, you see that huge building there, and I did not know it's going to be that big. So there's probably going to be more kids coming in. Now you have pre-K going to be here. What are we going to do?
Sure. Well, I'll start, and then we have 2 board members who serve on our facilities committee. So we have an active facilities committee. I think we have 22 members. It's a good representation of the community. We had a meeting in July, and we have a meeting scheduled for, I believe, the 2nd week of September. We've secured architects. They are reviewing different plans and different designs. All of them include some type of expansion at Cottle. Lee Liu, our new business official, is right now looking at what it would cost. We have some debt service that will be dropping off, I believe, in 2019 for our last major project, which was completed in 2008. So the committee, I think, is moving along. I think it's a very good, solid committee with a lot of expertise. And that committee, their charge will be to make a recommendation to the Board of Education. And then the board will review different options, and if they decide to accept it, then we could potentially be out for a public vote. We're thinking sometime late winter.
Okay. Please don't pick the old trailer in the backyard thing. Please don't. Do something more long-term. Okay, so we couldn't find a middle school principal. How many people applied for that position?
Oh, off the top of my head, I want to say somewhere maybe 160, 170.
And we couldn't find a qualified person?
Yeah.
All right. And so what's the woman's name that's principal now?
Miss Carrie Amon.
And she's an elementary school principal.
She was an elementary principal for 18 or 19 years.
Okay. Do you think that's the right decision to make, to have an elementary school principal be a middle school principal?
I do believe she has the skill set. Her expertise, of course, is more aligned with elementary. What we did when we decided that we were looking for an interim, we first tried to poll and find retired middle school principals. We put out to our network, for some unusual reason, not that many have retired over the past 3 or 4 years. One retiree who was interested, but then he withdrew. And at that point, we were considering high school and elementary. She's very, very well qualified. I think a lot of the skills that apply to leading an elementary school apply to middle as well, but there'll be a learning curve for her. But she's a bright woman, she's very motivated, she has a stellar reputation, and I think it was the best choice. Settling just didn't seem like an option for us. We'll be out there in January doing another search. It'll be a very intense search process, and we're looking for the long-term person.
Have you guys thought about maybe making a diversity push? I don't know the new assistant principal's background, but, I think I'd like to see, a person of color, in an administrative position in the school district to represent more of our, community.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, if you could not just, make it a point to bring in certain groups of people, not just throw them all in a big pile.
Sure.
2 more questions. I know we want to go.
It's okay.
Quick. All right. Have you guys tested the water fountains for lead?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So when are we going to decide on the veterans tax exemption?
That is a board discussion that we have to pick up again.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, we had this conversation last year. The state's still looking at certain things, and we want to see what the guidance is from the state.
Right, I believe there's pending legislation that would, instead of the cost being deferred to the school district, that the state would reimburse that. And
Like
I
stuff.
believe there is a bill that is being sponsored right now, so we're waiting to see. And I don't actually think we could, we've missed this cycle for the assessment from this past year, so it wouldn't be something that we would have to consider again until later on in the school year. So we will get you an update and see where that is, and we'll have to follow up on that.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions from public? Okay, great. Thanks for all the questions. Believe me, they are very appreciated. I mean that. Let me just pull this up. Okay, so item number 1 is to approve a consultant agreement. Resolve to approve a consultant agreement with Ellen Yip at a rate of $100 an hour for the period ending July 15, 2015 through June 30th, 2016 for home services, and 14-15 it was $6,600. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Rob, discussion?
Could I just ask a comment, if this could hold over to the August meeting? I understand and appreciate the board had been briefed on that, but as Harry brought up, this, we do know the exact amount, so this just is an hourly amount for the past contract, so if we could
Yes.
just approve that. And then for, actually, while I'm talking about it, item number 2, if we could put a cap on that expense, so we would know what the amount would be for this year, or an estimate of the amount, because they're just the
Okay.
hourly rates.
Yes.
Unless there's for some reason that it has to be done before August 29th.
No, it would just be, she'll have to
Or
wait a
we
little
could
bit longer
approve
for
it,
payment.
I mean, I'd
I
like to know
believe,
what the dollar amounts
I believe
are.
it was 9,000, Michelle.
That's what I remember you telling me, yeah.
Now that you say it, and I apologize,
So do you want to just
earlier.
add not to exceed 9,000? I do think that
If-
was what we were told, but it's just not on
if,
here.
if you're willing to do that, yes, and if we needed to change it for
Yeah, and-
for additional families, services, we can change it. So
So-
yes, 9,000 would be fine.
You wanted me
Not to
just to
exceed
reread it, not to
9,000.
exceed 9,000, and Lauren could always adjust it in the notes.
That's
We'll-
fine.
Okay, so I'll scratch, I guess I scratched the previous motion. I'll reintroduce
Yes.
another motion, which is to approve a consultant agreement, resolve to approve a consultant agreement with Ellen Yip at a rate of $100 per hour, not to exceed $9,000 for the period ending July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016 for home services. In 14-15, it was $6,600. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Michelle, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? So passed. Okay, thank you. Item number 2, resolve to approve a consultant agreement with Ellen Yip at a rate of $100 per hour, beginning for the period beginning July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017 for home services. 15-16 we know was $9,000 now. Do I have a motion? Again, there's no not to exceed. Do we want to do not to exceed 9,000 again?
Our rates are the same, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, if there's more service, we can always come back.
So that will be for the period July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017 for home services not to exceed $9,000 for the year. Do I have a motion? Danielle, second. Michelle, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Thank you. Item number 3, approve a contract agreement. Resolve to approve the contract agreement with Contreras Translation and Interpretation Services, Inc. for the translation services for the 2016-17 school year at the rates listed below, not to exceed $1,000. In 15-16, the payout was $580. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Taj, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Item number 4, approve a consultant agreement. Resolve to approve a consultant agreement with Carolyn Priscandaro, speech pathology PC, at a rate of $160 per session for speech therapy for the period July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2016. In 15-16, the payout was $27,040. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Danielle, discussion? So this doesn't have the cap either.
They just don't have the caps, and
I know.
I'm sorry that Lee's not here.
This is a very specialized service for our autistic program and for nonverbal children. Now, we are opening a new program, and I think it'll increase, and that's probably why we left it open. If you'd be more comfortable setting a cap, I would recommend 40,000, because we do have 4 new students in an autistic program that we've actually brought back to district at a significant savings. And then again, if it exceeds that, we can always come back to the table. So if we can add not to exceed 40,000, that would help.
So I'll read it again. Resolve to approve a consultant agreement with, are we okay with the 40,000? Yeah, okay, so resolve to approve a consultant agreement with Caroline Priscandaro, speech pathology PC, at a rate of $160 per session for speech therapy for the period July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, not to exceed $40,000. In 15-16, the payout was $27,040. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Rob, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Item number 5, and I'm going to, okay, this has, I'm going to read them before. Okay. Resolve to approve the contract services agreement with the Westchester Therapy Solutions for occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy services for the period commencing July 6, 2016 and ending June 2017, according to the proposed rate schedule, not to exceed $155,000. In 15-16, the expenditure was $169,346. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Rob, discussion?
So I see that we're saying not to exceed that, which is less than what last year's was.
Yes, so there are a number of different services that we use for them in-house and out of district. One major service is occupational therapy. We have a teacher who returned from maternity leave who will be providing occupational therapy, so we need less. However, we are opening a new program where there'll be a greater need for OT, so it'll be a combination of our in-house teacher plus this service provider. So this is an estimate. Again, it's sometimes hard to predict, but I think 155 will cover us. It'll probably be a little less.
Any other comments? All in favor? Oppose? Thank you. Item number 6, summer transportation contract. Resolve to approve a summer transportation contract with Royal Coach Lines for the period July 1st, 2016 through August 30th, 2016 at a 0.9 CPI increase. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Danielle, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Item number 8, accept bids. Motion to accept the bids from the following lowest responsible bidders for the 2016-2017 school year. Minor repairs bid, T Squared Construction. Air conditioning and refrigeration bid, Joe Lombardi Plumbing and Heating. And heating services bid, Oilico. Do I have a motion? Dodge, second Michelle. Discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Item number 9. Did I skip 7? Sorry. So I'll go back. Item number 7. Motion to accept the bid for the athletic training services for the 2016-2017 school year. Symmetry Physical Therapy at $34 an hour for 30 hours per week for 44 weeks, not to exceed $46,000 for the 2016-2017 school year. Do I have a motion? Dodge, second. Danielle, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Okay. That was 7. I'm going to jump to 9, which is adopt a revised board meeting schedule. Resolve to adopt a revised board meeting schedule, education schedule below. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Danielle, discussion? So I'll just quickly say that we had a couple of dates that had some conflicts for some of the board members. So I think we moved 2 dates from the original schedule by a week or so. So we did it way in advance. I think one meeting's in November and the other one might be not till April. All in favor? Oppose? Thank you. We're going to move to the personnel section of the agenda. So the first is to appoint an assistant principal. Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Scott DeBellis to a 3-year probationary appointment in the tenure area of assistant principal at the Tuckahoe Middle School and High School effective September 1st, 2016 through September 1st, 2019 at an annualized salary of $135,000 and benefits as per the TAA contract. Scott holds a New York State School Administration Supervisor Permanent Certification. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Dodge, discussion? So, Carl, you want to just tell us a little bit about
Sure.
Scott?
Scott DeBellis has 7 years as an assistant principal in New York City Public Schools. He comes very highly recommended. We vetted him very carefully and spoke to a number of references and supervisors. He has a strong background in health and phys ed and athletics. But also administratively, he's done some great work down there. He's in charge of operations. He's in a very large school, and I think he'll be a good addition to our administrative team. He's known for having wonderful interpersonal skills, a great connection with students. Some of the comments that came through his references, and they could not say enough positive, praise for him. And we all think unanimously on the administrative staff that Scott will be a welcomed addition.
I also would say this just happened, like it was today. It was fast moving, and I think Scott's not here because I don't think he had a lot of notice.
Well, yes, he was prepared to come. We had some board discussion. We debated hiring him on August 29th. That was our debate, but we have a number of new hires, and we will invite them in early in the school year to be formally introduced.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, all in favor? Oppose? Welcome, Scott. We look forward to seeing you roam in the halls with the kids. So, number 2 is to accept resignations. Resolved to accept the resignations of Sloan Dill as girls GV volleyball coach and Michael McGovern as the girls varsity volleyball coach for the fall 2016 season. Do I have a motion? Danielle, second. Michelle, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Okay, and then to piggyback that, appoint coaches. Resolved to appoint the following coaches at the following stipends for the fall 2016 season. Sloan Dill, girls varsity volleyball coach, $7,703, and Michael McGovern, girls junior varsity volleyball coach at $6,602. Do I have a motion? Danielle, second. Rob, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Appoint a CSE chair. This is item number 4. Resolve that the Board of Education appoint the following individual to serve on the Committee of Special Education for the 2016-17 school year. District member Dr. Ellen McDonald, CSE chairperson. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Dodge, discussion? All in favor? Oppose? Okay. Number 5, approve a summer curriculum work. Resolve to approve Danielle Dwyer for summer curriculum work rate at $280 per day as per the TTA contract for a maximum of $840. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Danielle, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Number 6, an ESE program. Resolve to appoint Jill Quateraro as special education teacher, sorry, Jill, at the rate of $600 per hour, $60 per hour, per the TTA contract for the period ending July 1st, 2016, and ending August 19th, 2016 for the ESY program. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Rob, discussion?
I would just like to thank Jill personally. We had a teacher who was prepared to do summer services and became ill. So Jill stepped in, last minute notice. She's doing a great job with the kids, and thank you for supporting the appointment.
Great. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Item number 7, appoint a .2 FTE teacher. Resolved on recommendation of the superintendent to appoint Stacy Alessio to a .2 AIS ELA appointment at the Tuckahoe High School effective September 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017 on a step MA-1 of the TTA salary schedule. Stacy Alessio holds social studies initial certification. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Michelle, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Number 8, appoint stipends. Resolved to appoint the following stipends for the 2016-2017 school year. Stacy Alessio, the high school yearbook advisor, $8,253, and Tammy Warren, the custodian in charge of ES, $3,907. Do I have a motion? Dodge, second. Danielle, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Number 9, change in title. Whereas Rita Gentile has been employed by the Tuckahoe Union Free School District as an aide since February 28, 2011, and whereas due to the evolution of her job duties, Ms. Gentile is now performing functions that are consistent with the civil service of monitor rather than her current title of aide, and whereas the salary and benefits for both an aide title and a monitor title are the same under collective bargaining agreement between the district and the CSEA Local 1000, which represents Mrs. Gentile. Now, therefore, it is resolved that Ms. Gentile's job title shall be changed from aide to monitor effective August 11, 2016, and it be further resolved that Ms. Gentile shall retain all seniority she accrued as an aide in her new title of monitor. Do I have a motion? Dodge, second. Rob, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Item number 10, resolve to accept the resignation of Kristen Crudden effective September 5th, 2016. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Danielle, discussion?
I just would like to thank Kristen. She's given our district many years of dedicated service, working in special ed and reading. She's pursuing a professional opportunity. We wish her all the best. I know she still lives here and our children go to school here, so we will continue to see Kristen Crudden, and again, we wish her all the best.
Any other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Item number 11, accept a resignation. Resolved to accept the resignation of Lisa Padilla from the position of clerk effective close of business on August 11th, 2016. Do I have a motion? Michelle, second. Danielle, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Item number 12, appoint a secretary to the school administrator. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Tuckahoe Union Free School District hereby appoint Lisa Padilla to the position of secretary to school administrator effective the close of business on August 11th, 2016. Do I have a motion? Rob, second. Dodge, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And we are going to adjourn the meeting, and we are going to go back into executive session. So we will officially close the Board of Ed meeting in executive session. I'd like to thank everybody for coming on this rainy, stormy night, and everybody at home, enjoy the rest of the summer. We'll see you back on August 29th. Thanks. Good night.